Yo, what's up, bro? Welcome back to Gym Tan Beef, and today's video is exposing how the government, big food, and big pharma work together to keep you fat and sick and enrich themselves to make those three industries as much money as possible. And you guys probably already know how big food and big pharma work together to make themselves money, but most people do not know how the government plays a role in this, because the government is also making money off of this, and it really goes deeper than most people think. So this all started with the Energy Independence and Security Act of 2007. So this was a law passed by Obama, and it basically switched all incandescent light bulbs to LED. So this goes to anything that required government funding or any company that requires insurance, because that by law has to be energy efficient, any apartments, basically anything that requires insurance or anything that's funded by the government had to follow this law. And an incandescent light bulb is essentially a hot object that glows, producing a smooth, continuous spectrum rich in red and infrared light. So think sunset or think fires, things that us as humans have evolved with for hundreds of thousands of years. So through our evolution, we would stare at campfires at night, or we would stare at the sunset at night. And then that naturally tells our brain to start producing melatonin. That's why they tell you to look at red light at night or get that red light lamp before bed, is because it's literally telling your body through your eyes to start producing your melatonin. And that just comes from hundreds of thousands of years of evolutions, looking at campfires and looking at the sunset. Now compare that to an LED, which is an electric device that creates a light through a specific physical process, resulting in a spectrum that is distinct peaks, often engineered to appear white. So a good example of this is the screen in your car. Like when you film that with your phone, it's always flashing. And the thing is this TV and even this iPad, it's doing the same thing. It's flashing light at you. It's literally, it creates light through physical process, resulting in spectrums with peaks. So it's like peaking and it's flashing, and you can't see it on the TV and you can't see it on this iPad, but your car is a good example just because it's such a cheap screen, they don't try and hide it. Now let's go into more detail on this. So this law did not outright ban incandescent light bulbs. Instead, it created tiered efficiency standards that the bulbs had to meet. Traditional incandescent light bulbs, which waste about 90% of their energy as heat, did not meet these standards. And then Joe Biden in 2022 set a new minimum standard of 45 lumens per watt. This was the final nail in the coffin for the few incandescent light bulbs that could pass the energy efficient law. So thanks Obama, and thank you Joe Biden for messing up our blue light and our circadian rhythms. Now, you guys might thinking like, why do light bulbs matter so much? It's more than just a light bulb. Your eye is just more than rods and cones for your visions. You have a special set of photoreceptor cells called photointensive retroganglia cells, and these cells contain a photopigment called meloplasm. The meloplasm is the most sensitive to light in the blue part of the spectrum, and that's around 480 nanometers. And this is no accident because it's the same wavelength as the clear blue sky. So when I'm looking at this TV, when I'm looking at this iPad, it's literally like I'm staring at a clear blue sky. And now compare that to an incandescent light bulb that's like staring at a campfire, something more natural to humans, especially at night. So then when this meloplasm in your IPG-FC detects blue light, it sends a direct signal to your brain's your SCN, which is the master circadian rhythm, or your brain's circadian rhythm clock. And it tells your SCN it's daytime. It suppresses the production of the sleep hormone melatonin and sets in motion a daytime metabolic process. So literally when you're looking at your phone at night, it's telling you it's daytime. So like a lot of people, they're up all night looking at their phone, and you stare at your phone. It's the last thing you do before you go to bed, and then you wonder why you don't have good sleep. Now, melatonin is much more than just a sleep hormone. It affects way more than just your sleep. It's also a potent antioxidant and an anti-inflammatory agent. So when you have this blue light at night, it suppresses this melatonin and you lose these protective benefits, which lead to the following. You get increased oxidative stress. Melatonin is like a 24/7 security guard for your cells. So without the melatonin's antioxidant activities, the free radicals will cause more damage to your cells. And this leads to a regulated or a dysregulated immune response. So your immune system is closely tied to your circadian rhythms. A confused clock can lead to an overactive or underactive inflammatory response. So like humans, we have a circadian clock in our brain. And if your body doesn't know what time of day it is, it's not going to know when to produce your melatonin and when to start getting rid of toxins, because when you sleep, that's when your body gets rid of all the toxins in your body, sends it to your bowels and to your bladder, and it actually detoxes you and heals your body when you sleep. And then this blue light will also lead to mitochondria dysfunction. And if you've taken high school biology, you know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Your cells have their own circadian rhythms. So not only do you have a circadian rhythm, all the cells in your body have its circadian rhythms. So the wrong light signals at the wrong time can disrupt mitochondrial function, leading to inefficient energy production and increased generation of inflammatory free radicals. So how does big food come into this? Now, artificial blue light is already highly inflammatory, but the consumption of seed oils, which are high in linoleic acid, create the perfect storm that overwhelms our cellular energy systems, leading to disease. So how does big food benefit from having us sick? Let's get into that. So big food is basically, they're putting a waste product, which is seed oils, into all your food. And I'm just gonna focus on seed oils. You can also replace seed oils with sugar and all this other processed red 40, all this other just fake shit they put in our food. But they're literally putting a waste product of seed oils into your food, replacing nutrients with a highly inflammatory filler. And the way you want to look at it is, it's just like a Coke dealer that cuts his cocaine with baking soda. So they're stretching their product so they make more money off of a little bit of product. So like literally you'll find seed oils in crazy amounts of things, all because these companies want to make more money. And let me give you a little more background of how we got here so you can understand just how evil these companies are, and understand like how we literally started eating engine lubricant as a food filler. So rapeseed oil was used for centuries as a lamp oil, as a lubricant for steam engines and machinery. And the ingredients in like these industrial soaps, plastic, synthetic rubbers, its film forming properties also made it valuable base for paints and varnishes. So this rapeseed oil, you'll see later how it later became canola oil, vegetable oil as we know it today. But this is what they were using it for before they started feeding it to us. Literally in plastic, synthetic rubber, and also in paints and oil varnishes. And this I pulled just straight from ChatGPT. It literally just gave me all the exact exposure that I needed for this. So initially, rapeseed oil was grown in Canada primarily as a lubricating oil for marine engines during World War II. After the war, farmers sought new markets. So after World War II, the farmers were like, what the hell are we going to do with all this oil? Like literally, every country's economy was based off of wartime production, and then the war stops immediately. What's going to happen to all these jobs and all these industries that literally made their fortune off the war? So that's when they're like, oh, well, let's fucking feed it to people. And so rapeseed the high uric acid in this original rapeseed oil made it impossible for humans to eat. And so in animal studies in the 1950s and 60s, they showed that the high levels of uric acid could cause lipidosis, or fatty deposits in the heart muscle and other tissues of the body. And it also causes high glucolate content in this meal. So the leftover seeds after the oil extraction contained this glucosinolates, which made it unpalatable for livestock. So literally cows would not eat this. Pigs would not eat this leftover seed oil because of how bad it was for them. And pigs and cows will pretty much eat anything that you'll feed them, but they literally know how poisonous it was for them. So then they started studying it on humans. So the first paper that did research on this in humans was with Dr. J.G. Kruger. And what they found is that the uric acid absorbed and metabolizes more slowly than other fatty acids in humans. So this oil from the rapeseed was literally metabolizing slower in the body. It was staying in their body, in humans' body fat, longer than natural animal fats like butter, tallow, even longer than like natural peanut butter oils. This rapeseed oil was just sticking in humans' body and was not metabolizing. It was not burning off. So the study concluded that the immediate risk for humans appeared lower than in rodent models, and I don't know how they came up with that, but literally it says it's lower than rodents, but it was already showing in rodents that it was causing fatty tissue buildup in the heart. So if it's doing that to rats, why are humans going to eat it? But anyways, the long-term side effects of high uric acid consumption were unknown and potentially concerning. So they were still concerned with it, but they went ahead anyways and still made canola oil. So the early human consumption study provided congruent animal toxicology data. So it showed the same data as the animal studies. So what they had to do is breed a new plant that would have lower uric acid. So that's what Dr. Downing did, is he started breeding a rapeseed plant to eliminate the problem with the rapeseed's high uric acid content. And it's just like rapeseed and rapeseed oil, like literally call it rape. Like that's what it's doing to your body. Like they put this shit right in front of us. It's insane. But the result was through traditional plant breeding, Downey and his team developed the world's first low uric acid rapeseed. So it was lower in uric acid, which is still something that's bad for us. And the problem really comes in with this is, while it's a lower in uric acid, when these food companies put it in frickin' everything, it's still going to develop high contents of rapeseed in your body. And you can just see this in the modern food industry, seed oils and everything. And this is where we get into more of where it comes into with the doctors with this rapeseed oil. So Procter and Gamble introduced Crisco in 1991, which is a vegetable oil. And now they didn't start paying off the American Heart Association until after World War II, like the rapeseed oil study. But basically, Procter & Gamble took the American Heart Foundation from an underfunded society to a powerhouse where about $2 million payoff. And at the time, in 1911, that's a shitload of money. So it literally advertised the public to eat less saturated fats, so things like animal fats, and switch over to these seed oils. And you can see the American Heart Association is still paying for this funding today. In fact, Procter & Gamble still funds the American Heart Association. So they're literally telling you, love it. You can do things high in unsaturated polyunitarated fats. So you can eat fish, nuts, seeds, tofu, edamame, and other plant oils, but you should limit fatty meats and full fat dairy. So you can eat tofu, which is artificial, edamame, which is just a shit low nutrient dense food, and plant oils, and the rapeseed oil is literally raping your body high in that uric acid. But don't eat the natural red meat that humans have ate for hundreds of thousands of years. It's so stupid. And back to saying, like, when they say you should limit your red meat consumption, no one literally ever takes into consideration how much seed oils they eat in a day. Because seed oils are in all of this shit. Like, it's in protein bars, protein powders, bread, nuts, granola bars. It's even in baby formula. They put this high uric acid filler food in baby formula. Like, if you guys need if you guys need more, what's the word I'm looking for? If you guys need more of a reason to believe that these food companies are evil, they are putting this shit in baby formula. And it blows my mind, but it's coffee creamer. They even mix it with olive oil, avocado oil. Like, if you read your if you read your avocado oil, it will literally say like 50% avocado oil, 50% seed oils. And it's just literally, they're replacing that high nutrient dense food with these fillers, just like that cocaine dealer example. They're cutting your food like a cocaine dealer. And I know a lot of people, they eat this shit every day. Like, I know when I worked in an office, like, people would have this for breakfast and then they'd have one of these for lunch, and think you're already eating a bunch of seed oils. And you go back to that study where they say that it's lower, the new rapeseed oil is lower in uric acid. And something I didn't make clear earlier is rapeseed was rebranded to canola oil or Canadian oil, the lower uric acid one. But it's still in everything. So even if it's lower in uric acid, it's still causing that fatty heart that it found in animal studies. And here was a study done by Kay Borg, and this was a study on rapeseed oil, but it literally found, this was done in the 70s before all scientists were bought off by these seed oil companies, but it literally showed that these rapeseed oils were causing high uric acid, and it was causing that fat buildup in rats. So we've seen how seed oils have proven to be highly inflammatory in all of these animal studies and even in human studies. And while it's still lower now in canola oil, just go back to that slide where you see it's literally in everything. It's in bread, it's in your avocado oil, it's in your protein bars, and that shit builds up in your heart after a long time, and it metabolizes slower, just like these studies have shown. And this is really where Big Pharma comes in. Because you can see how the chronic diseases in America have just skyrocketed since the 1920s, really, since the introduction of seed oils after World War II. But like, you can just see the spike. And so this is where Big Pharma comes in and makes their money. And now, these seed oils cause a lot more than just autoimmune diseases, but these autoimmune diseases are a great example, just because I know a lot of people with autoimmune diseases and they never find a cure for them. It's just like, oh, you're just sick for life. But basically, autoimmune diseases comes from seed oils, comes from this blue light exposure. It ties it all in together, the government and these food companies. So a diet high in seed oils creates cell membranes throughout the body that are fragile and saturated with linoleic acid. The exposure to artificial blue light, especially at night, creates a massive spike of oxidative stress in the mitochondria because the melatonin is suppressed. And remember, melatonin is more than just a sleep hormone. It's also an antioxidative stress hormone. It clears the body, and it's an immune system hormone. So when this damage isn't cleared up properly, this oxidative stress literally attacks the fragile LA-rich membranes, and this damages the structure of the cells and their organelles. So when these cells are damaged, their components become negatins, and the structures of the immune system no longer recognize that it's itself. And that's why they call it an autoimmune disease, is because your immune system literally doesn't recognize itself and it's attacking your own body's cells. It's very similar to cancer, actually. And this immune system is now encountering these damaged, unfamiliar cell fragments, launches its attacks against them because these fragments are a part of your own tissue, and the immune system attacks become chronic and self-perpetuating. That is what an autoimmune diseases are. And here are some examples of autoimmune diseases. So type 1 diabetes, things that people say, oh, I was just born with diabetes, there's nothing I can do about it. That's an autoimmune disease. Systematic lupus. You also have thyroid diseases. Again, I know plenty of people who have thyroid diseases and they're on thyroid medication, when really it's literally an autoimmune disease, your body attacking itself. Like, you think our ancestors had thyroid issues, they had diabetes? No. It can also cause these sarcosis, which is literally like skin issues. Think how many people have skin issues like eczema and other things today. And then you have celiac diseases. So that's basically when people tell you that they're gluten intolerant, that's celiac diseases. Then you have arthritis. How many of your grandmas, how many of your grandpas have arthritis? Every one of them. I know mine did. And then I'm not sure what this one is. But these are all autoimmune diseases, and these are all things that people can never find a cure for. And how do I know that? Is because I have plenty of friends and family that do this. Like, I know multiple people in my personal life that have these autoimmune diseases, and it's the same stories. They go from doctor to doctor, and each doctor's like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with you. Here's go to this specialist. And they literally bounce around to like 3 or 4 different doctors, and then they do this until they get some medication. So literally, I've known multiple, I probably know 6+ people with some form of autoimmune diseases, whether it's celiac disease, whether it's skin issues, and they will bounce around from doctor to doctor until one specialist will tell them, here, take this medication. So what they're doing is now they're sick for life. There's no cure for this other than a pill, and they're reliant and have to pay for medication for the rest of their lives because doctors don't address the root cause of the disease, which is blue light and seed oils. So the blue light and seed oils are 2 highly inflammatory things that the doctors are never addressing. And therefore, these diseases are uncurable, and you're bouncing around from doctor to doctor, literally paying each doctor visit, like each doctor you go to, you know how expensive doctors are, and your insurance doesn't cover all of it. So you're paying all this shit to doctors, you're feeding the doctors industry, and then you end up feeding the pharmaceutical industry in the end, and you're literally paying the rest of your life for pills just to be a normal person. And these doctors never address the root causes. In fact, they actually promote doing the opposite of what this would do. They literally are promoting eating plant oils. They are promoting avoiding the sun. They are promoting you being inside under that blue light. And like I said, when it goes back to the government, the blue light is literally everywhere. It's the law now to have blue light in your office, in your schools, no matter where you are in stores, there's going to be blue light. It's a law. So you mix those things together, you avoid the sun, stay inside, you literally have an an inflammatory nightmare coming your way. And no wonder so many people have these diseases that have no cure, these autoimmune diseases. Now, let's tie it all together a little more. So I can tie it back to how the government makes money. So doctors and big pharma then lobby the US government to make these laws that are beneficial to them. So we're going all back to the government, back to Obama and Biden, why they passed these blue light laws, why they want to replace all these lights with blue light, is because The government passed these laws because look how much money they're getting from the pharmaceutical industry. So from Pharmaceutical and Research Manufacturers of America, they're the number 3 donators to lobbying the government. They're paying $16 million, almost $17 million to lobby the government every year. And then what do you have next? Oh, the American Hospital Association. Would you look at that? The number 4 lobbying group in America with almost $15 million of funding. And then you have Blue Cross and Blue Shield, which is an insurance company. Literally, when you go from doctor to doctor, you're paying these insurance costs. They're almost at $15,000 again. And then you have the American Medical Association, which has had another $13,000 or $13 million. And let's see what else is on here. Oh, look, the Pharmaceutical Care Management Association. But yeah, you guys can see how messed up this is. So literally, you have these pharmaceutical industries, the medical industries full of doctors, insurance companies, paying the government to make these laws, to make it inflammatory, to make the blue light inflammatory in your homes, in your schools, in your workplace. And then you have a government that literally supports seed oils. They tell you to eat carbs. They tell you to avoid red meat. And fuck, I lost my train of thought on this one. But you have, let's go back. So you have the government making these laws with blue light, literally putting it in your homes, in your schools, in your workplaces, highly inflammatory. And then you have doctors telling you to avoid the sun, telling you to eat seed oils, so something that's highly inflammatory, that's going to make you sick, causing you to go to the doctors. And then you have these big food companies that literally make more money off of selling you these filler foods, taking out the nutrient density foods and replacing them with these cheap seed oils that were literally used as engine lubricant, and now they have no use. So they have to put it in your food. So can you see how all these 3 work together to make you sick? Like, it all goes much deeper than what you guys think. And this should be a big motivation of why you guys should do the opposite of what the government, what doctors, what food companies tell you to do. And that's why I came up with Gym Tan Beef. Going to the gym every day, getting your exercise, getting that movement, tan, being outside in nature, under the sun, avoiding blue light, spending less time watching TV, being on your iPod, scrolling on TikTok, literally sucking up that blue light. You need to be tanning. You need to be outside under the sun like humans were meant to be. And that's going to set your circadian rhythm. Like I always have my morning tan, and a lot of people ask me, how do you tan in the morning? And it's more than just a tan. I'm watching the sunrise, because when you get that early morning sun, it goes through your eyes and tells your body to stop making melatonin. And that's going to wake you up. You shouldn't need coffee in the morning to wake up. You shouldn't need a stimulant to start your day. You should literally just wake up and be ready to go. But you're not living like humans have evolved. And then during the day, you should get outside, get that tan, because you're getting that vitamin D from the sun. And then at night, you should watch the sunset, because that's going to turn on the melatonin production, because you're getting that red glow from the sun. And then at night, you should also stop being on your phone, stop being on your iPad. And I know it's hard, and that's why you should have something like blue light glasses. Like, the blue light glasses will limit that, and then you can still be on your iPad and watch TV. But literally, you guys should be tanning outside more. Spend more time outside, less time inside, where literally the government regulates the light bulbs that are inside of all these establishments. And then beef, eating foods that are high in natural fats. Fats that humans have evolved with for hundreds of thousands of years. Not these science experiments where they literally put they literally had to breed a rapeseed to make it lower in uric acid, something that was causing fat buildup in people's hearts. They had to breed it. It's literally some crazy science experiment. And in another video, we'll go into how they make these seed oils, but they literally bleach them, have to deodorize them because they look so nasty when they come out naturally. They literally have to bleach them and deodorize them. So you guys can see how I came up with Gym Tan Beef. Gym Tan Beef isn't something crazy. It's literally just getting back to humans, how humans used to live. But if you guys need more help on implementing Gym Tan Beef and you guys want more of a holistic lifestyle, I do offer one-on-one coaching, and you guys can find the link to schedule a coaching qualification call with me in the link below. And I hope you guys have a great day. YouTube thinks that you'll like this video the most next. And while you watch that video, go outside, get a tan, go on a walk. Like, do the opposite of what the government and these big companies want you to do to keep you sick.